Robot vacuums and mops are getting insane. I've seen a lot over the past few years, but nothing quite like this. The SwitchBot S10 is a truly autonomous robot cleaner. It has a charging dock where it will charge, empty the dust, and even dry the mop, but also a separate water station for getting clean water and emptying dirty water. Not only that, but SwitchBot has plans to release a humidifier and a dehumidifier add-on, which are also separate stations that the robot can visit to refill water and remove water as needed. And get this, the water station that I mentioned can integrate directly into your plumbing. That means you never have to manually refill the water or empty that dirty, stinky water tank after mopping like you would with most robot mops. Today we'll take a closer look at this new SwitchBot S10 and its unique dual station design. We'll install the water refill station so it is integrated into the house's main plumbing. I've never done anything like this, so hopefully we don't flood the house. Should be exciting. Let's go. Yo, what's up guys? My name is Shane and this channel is all about helping you build an easy Apple Home smart home with new videos and live streams published every week. Big thanks to SwitchBot for sponsoring today's video and sending me out their new S10 floor cleaning robot. This is the first robot mop that I have ever used that I will be connecting to the main water line of the house. So I was really excited to check it out and see exactly how this works. I was also curious to see how hard it is to set up and how well this dual design works. Again, haven't ever seen anything quite like this. This is also the first robot mop that I've ever used with a roller mop instead of something like rotating pads or a vibrating mop pad. So let's see what they sent me. This kit here is the reviewer sample kit, which is essentially the crowdfunding version. So if you purchase yours on Kickstarter, it will look like this. Your kit will look just like this. Mine came packaged up really well. I have the charging station, the water refill station, a couple packs of cleaning solution, a cleaner brush, the installation hardware, and they even gave me a water sensor, which is really nice. The external water tank assembly and the SwitchBot leak detector, the leak sensor, are only included for those who purchased the S10 through Kickstarter, but they are available to purchase separately on Amazon and on the web store if you would like them. Here is everything you should get in the box when you purchase from Amazon or the SwitchBot store. Again, yours will not include the external water tank unless you add it on to your order. So if you plan to connect your water station to the water lines like we're gonna do today, you won't need that external water tank. But if you don't have a place that you can do that, you can order those external water tanks, and then it'll be more similar to, you know, other robot mops out there, and you would just manually add clean water and remove the dirty water as needed. But that's no fun. I've used those types of robot mops before, so I really wanted to connect this thing to the main water lines to see how well that works. That said, I really didn't have a good spot in my house to install something like this to the water line, so I called up a friend who I know desperately needed an upgrade from his robot vacuum, but I also know has a great spot where we can connect the water station to his water lines. It also doesn't hurt that he's probably the best handyman that I know of, so it's nice to have an extra set of hands on this project during this installation. Now again, you will have to have a good spot to install it. SwitchBot gives us very clear guidelines on what is required for the installation. They also provide some great installation guides in both text and video. All that is available on their website. I'll put links to everything down below in the description. And you can install the water station at your faucets, either with or without garbage disposals, dishwashers, washing machines, and even at your toilet. Again, just double check the installation requirements to make sure you have the proper space and plumbing required for this. Make sure you turn off the water at the location where you are installing this. And first we install the T-valve. So this is for the water station's inlet hose. That's how it gets clean water. If you can, you might want to install this at the water shutoff valve. It just so happens that this bathroom sink has, you know, one of those single piece shutoff valves with the hose like crimped onto it. I hate those things. Fortunately, we did have just barely enough room to attach the T valve to the other end of that hose up near the faucet. Then we installed the drainage T to the drain pipe. In our case, this did require a little modification. We just had to shorten the existing pipe to get it back in there. Basically, we just installed that drainage T in line with the drainage pipe. Then we could connect the drain line from the water station to that. SwitchBot does a really good job here at providing lots of guidance and resources for the installation, but also a lot of fittings and adapters, so you should have everything you need for your installation. We just left the water inlet and drain hoses running along the outside of the cabinet temporarily just to make sure everything was working as it should. Then once we were comfortable with it, we'll drill straight through the side of the cabinet there to completely hide all the hoses for a really nice clean finished installation. One really cool thing about this water station is that it does not require power from an outlet. The water station is powered by the robot vacuum, so that's really smart because if I was required to find an outlet for this wherever we installed it, that would make the installation way more complicated and probably more messy. And once the water station was installed, it was time to plug in the charging base and set up the vacuum at its new permanent home. This is where the vacuum will charge, auto empty the dust, and pretty much live when it's not being used. We put this in a completely separate room as the water station, and it will only go and visit that water station as needed to refill water or empty the dirty water. Download and install the SwitchBot app if you don't already have it. The app should automatically detect the new S10. The app will walk us through connecting it to our Wi-Fi network. It will connect to your 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi network. Then you can rename it and choose which room it'll go in. There are some installation guides, which we can skip since we've already installed it. Immediately, I noticed there is a firmware update, so I'll go ahead and update all the firmware and also turn on automatic firmware updates just to make sure this thing is always running the latest firmware. Once that's all done, the first thing you'll want to do is set up your map. The robot, which we effectively named Rosie, will take a quick tour of the house, creating a map using its onboard LiDAR scanner. It will go from room to room until the map is complete. You will be asked in the app to identify where the water station is on the map, and then the vacuum will go there and confirm its location. You can also add virtual boundaries and no-go zones and things like that, as you would expect on your map, however you like. You can create up to 3 separate maps and switch between them anytime. The vacuum features 6,500 pascals of suction power. Now that's not as high as some other flagship vacuums on the market, but it's more than enough for everyday use. It's not the quietest vacuum, but it's also not the loudest I've ever heard. Quiet mode will be much quieter with less suction power, or you can use the vacuum at the highest suction power, which will of course be louder. Additionally, there is an option to switch to high suction power automatically when carpets are detected, which is a nice feature. When it needs to, it will return to the charging dock to auto empty the waste. They say it can store collected waste for up to 70 days. Of course, that does depend on how often you run your vacuum and maybe how many animals you have in the house. This little guy, or maybe this big guy, I should say, was posted up here watching me pretty much the whole time I was setting up this vacuum. Now let's talk about the mopping. This is the first robot mop that I've used with the roller mop design. They call it the Revo Roll. What's really interesting about this design is that the S10 actually cleans the mop as it's mopping. They say it cleans itself 300 times per minute while it's on the move, which ensures the mop is always clean and prevents it from spreading dirt around the house. Really nice. This is unique. Other robot mops that I've used must always return to some sort of base station to clean the mop, if they even have a mop cleaning feature at all. That essentially means that the mop is, cleaning with, dirty pads until it goes to clean the mop pads. So I had to test this out. I threw some ketchup on the floor so we could see if it in fact cleans the mop as it's mopping, and sure enough, Almost immediately after it effectively mopped up the ketchup, I stopped it to check the roller brush, and it was in fact very clean. There was some remnants of ketchup right at the edges, but that's it. It did leave, gunked up ketchup in other areas of the vacuum. I did have to clean that out, but the roller mop itself was surprisingly clean, and that's what we were testing. We wanted to see if it actually cleans the mop as it's running. This is obviously not something your robot should encounter in normal use. If you spill ketchup on the floor, just wipe it up first and then send the robot. But seeing how clean the roller mop was after this test does make me confident that it will be great at consistently maintaining a clean mop as it works its way around the house in normal everyday use. The S10 detects a carpet. It will completely retract the mop up into the unit so that it doesn't get the carpets wet. I also tested this. If you have really high carpets, there's still a chance that your carpets will be a little bit damp, especially as it transitions from the hard floor onto the carpet. But I think this one does work better than most mops since the mop basically goes all the way up into the vacuum. Other vacuums with mop pads usually remain exposed. With this one too, at least you know that your mop is clean, if nothing else, since it's always cleaning itself. You can also add cleaning solution to the water station's 150 milliliter cleaning solution tank. The station will automatically add solution as needed. One tank of cleaning solution is said to last 90 days. The S10 has an onboard dirty water and clean water tank, and at any point during the cleaning, if it needs more clean water or needs to empty that dirty water tank, it will visit the water station to do what it needs or get what it needs. I must say this was just super cool to watch, knowing that it's getting water directly from the house's main water lines and then emptying that dirty water into the home's drainage system is just really awesome. Gone are the days of having to empty out those dirty, stinky mop water bins that you see with other robot vacuums. They do just get so stinky. They're kind of gross. When it's done mopping, it will return to the water station for a deep self-clean. So not only does the mop clean itself as it's mopping, but it'll perform this deep clean after each job as well. Then it will return to the charging station to empty any debris if it hasn't already.
Back to charge now.
It will charge and also dry the mop here.
Drying roller mop.
You can adjust the mop drying time from 1 to 4 hours, I believe. It uses 122 degrees Fahrenheit of hot air to dry the mop, preventing the buildup of mold and bacteria. The SwitchBot S10 uses 360 degree LiDAR for mapping, navigation, positioning, and intelligent planning of clean routes to leave no blind spots. It's also equipped with a camera and features AI obstacle avoidance, which runs locally and helps to avoid obstacles. It does lack any video recording functionality, which eliminates the possibility of any remote access or unauthorized use of the camera function, so that's kind of nice. I tested the obstacle avoidance. It did pretty good. It nudged 1 or 2 items that I left on the floor, but not really too bad. If you have animals that may use the bathroom inside the house, I wouldn't run the vacuum without checking for that first. But that really goes with every single robot vacuum that I've used, not just this one. They're not perfect, and I just wouldn't trust them with animal feces on the floor. It also has these tiny little headlights that will come on in low light environments, enabling it to vacuum and mop more efficiently. Now let's talk about something else really cool. SwitchBot is planning to release 2 more stations that you can add to your S10 setup, a humidifier and a dehumidifier. So this right here just really blows my mind. So let me explain how this works. If you get the humidifier, for example, the robot will visit the water station, the one we already connected to the main water line. It will get water and then take it to the humidifier to auto refill the water tank there. So you never need to refill your mop, but you also never need to refill your humidifier because this robot is doing it all for you once you've connected the water station to your plumbing. And the dehumidifier will work the same way, but in reverse. The robot will empty excess water automatically from the dehumidifier and even use it to clean the floors. I mean, this is some really futuristic stuff here. I think this robot is basically moving around your house and able to do all these cool things completely on its own. Just crazy. Now, the humidifier and the dehumidifier are not available yet, so just be aware of that. I suppose, it's not guaranteed. I always assume nothing is guaranteed until it is available, but SwitchBot says that both of these add-ons are coming soon, and the website actually says that the dehumidifier is expected to launch in late 2024. So maybe that one will be the first available. The S10 does support Google Home and yes, even Apple HomeKit through Matter. The Matter 1.3 spec did add support for robot vacuums, which means you can now get this natively into the Apple Home app. You will have to use one of the SwitchBot Matter hubs in order to add it to your Apple Home ecosystem, but once you do that, at least at the time of this recording, you will get the ability to start and stop the vacuum, but that's it. No other features are available in the Apple Home app, at least not right now at the time of this recording. That said, the S10 does also support Siri shortcuts, so you can utilize this in any of your current shortcuts, or you can create new ones so you can control the vacuum with Siri commands. Clean the house.
Initiating cleaning.
And of course, you can automate the mop in the SwitchBot app. So I programmed a SwitchBot button to start and stop the S10 vacuum.
Initiating cleaning.
This is just a great way to give non-techies in your house an extra physical way to control the vacuum. Now, as great as this thing is, it's not perfect. As with anything, there are pros and cons. So let's discuss all of that. I think the roller mop design is really effective at cleaning the floors well and keeping the mop clean as it's working. Maybe the best that I've seen. I've tried mops with dual rotating pads as well as vibrating pads, and I think this roller style may be, the best one. It really seems to clean well without smudging dirt all around, which is nice. And the fact that it cleans itself while mopping is really great. Every other type of robot mop that I've used can only clean the mops, like I said earlier, at the base station, meaning it could potentially just be mopping with dirty pads until it returns to the dock to wash the mop. And the fact that this doesn't clean itself at the base station like others does also mean that there's no need to clean the base station, which is something you will have to do with other robot mops, which is something that I always forget to do, so mine's always really dirty. So that, combined with the very large dust bags and the ability to connect directly to your water line, means that this is probably the most hands-free robot mop combo that I've ever used, at least. Now, it's not 100% maintenance free, as with anything. There is a dustbin filter on the robot, as well as a water waste filter in the water station that should be cleaned out every so often. You may also need to clean the debris evacuation port and the tube on the auto empty station every now and then. It's also a good idea to clean the sensors, the roller brush, and water tanks on the unit every now and then, but that goes for all cleaning robots really. Again, I think this one does require less overall maintenance than most other robot vacuums that I've used. Another potential downside to note is that because of that roller mop style, the S10 is not going to be able to reach deep into corners as well as other mops, so that may be something to consider. Also, in my testing, it had a hard time transitioning to this larger, thick carpet. I don't have any carpets this thick at my house, so I don't really have a way to compare this to other robot vacuums. I suspect it could be an issue for others as well. I have had carpets with similar tassels like this. Robot vacuums just, in general don't really like these tassels very much, at least in my experience. So I decided it was best to just create a no-go zone for this specific rug, just to avoid it completely. And that way we don't have to worry about it messing up the tassels either. But it did do just fine with the other high pile carpet that was in the bedroom. So the only other issue I noticed was at this one transition between two rooms. It is a pretty large transition strip. The vacuum did always get over it, but it took a little while and I wasn't so sure it would make it a few times. But like I said, it always did if we just let it go. The S10 should be able to cross thresholds of up to 20 millimeters. So this one here was certainly on the larger side and pushing that limit, I guess. Overall, the S10 is very impressive and it comes in at a very reasonable price considering all the features it offers. You can get one for around $1,200 US. I do have a discount code that I'll put down below in the description so you can save yourself a little bit of money if you decide to get one of these for yourself. There really is a lot to love about this thing. I'm a little bit jealous of my friend now that has a robot vacuum mop connected to his main water lines. It's just really awesome. Be sure to subscribe for more smart home content like this every week. I also live stream every Wednesday, so come hang out, ask questions. Always a good time. Here's another video right over here that YouTube thinks you'll like. Check it out. Pretty sure it's a good one. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.